Abimelek ruled the Israelites for 3 years. Abimelek had killed Jerubaal's 70 sons, and they were his own brothers. The leaders of Shechem had supported him in doing this evil thing, so God caused trouble between Abimelek and the leaders of Shechem, and they began planning ways to hurt Abimelek. The leaders of the city of Shechem did not like Abimelek anymore. They put men on the hilltops to attack and rob everyone who went by. Abimelek found out about these attacks. A man named Gaal, son of Ebed, and his brothers moved to the city of Shechem. The leaders of the city of Shechem decided to trust and follow Gaal. One day, the people of Shechem went out to the vineyards to pick grapes. They squeezed the grapes to make wine, and then they had a party at the temple of their god. The people ate and drank and cursed Abimelek. Then Gaal, son of Ebed, said, "We are the men of Shechem. Why should we obey Abimelek? Who does he think he is? Abimelek is one of Jerubaal's sons, right? And Abimelek made Zebul his officer, right? We should not obey Abimelek. We should follow our own people, men from Hamor. Hamor was the father of Shechem. If you make me the commander of these people, I will destroy Abimelek. I will say to him, 'Get your army ready and come out to battle.'" Zebul was the governor of the city of Shechem. Zebul heard what Gaal, son of Ebed, said, and he became very angry. Zebul sent messengers to Abimelek in the city of Arumah. "This is the message. Gaal, son of Ebed, and Gaal's brothers have come to the city of Shechem. They are making trouble for you. Gaal is turning the whole city against you. So now, you and your men should come tonight and hide in the fields outside the city. When the sun comes up in the morning, attack the city. Gaal and his men will come out of the city to fight you. When they come out to fight, do what you can to them." So Abimelek and all his soldiers got up during the night and went to the city. The soldiers separated into 4 groups. They hid near the city of Shechem. Gaal, son of Ebed, went out and was standing at the entrance to the gate of the city of Shechem. While Gaal was standing there, Abimelek and his soldiers came out of their hiding places. When Gaal saw the soldiers, he said to Zebul, "Look, there are people coming down from the mountains." But Zebul said, "You are only seeing the shadows of the mountains. The shadows just look like people." But again Gaal said, "Look, there are some people coming down from that place over there by Land's Navel. And there, I saw someone's head over by Magician's Tree." Zebul said to Gaal, "Why aren't you bragging now? You said, 'Who is Abimelek? Why should we obey him?' You made fun of these men. Now go out and fight them." So Gaal led the leaders of Shechem out to fight Abimelek. Abimelek and his men chased Gaal and his men. Gaal's men ran back toward the gate of the city of Shechem, but many were killed before they could get back to the gate. Then Abimelek returned to the city of Arumah. Zebul forced Gaal and his brothers to leave the city of Shechem. The next day, the people of Shechem went out to the fields to work. Abimelek found out about it. So Abimelek separated his men into 3 groups. He wanted to attack the people of Shechem by surprise. So he hid his men in the fields. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he jumped up and attacked them. Abimelek and his group ran to a place near the gate to Shechem. The other 2 groups ran out to the people in the fields and killed them. Abimelek and his men fought against the city of Shechem all that day. They captured the city of Shechem and killed its people. Then Abimelek tore down the city and threw salt over the ruins. There were some people who lived at the tower of Shechem. When they heard what had happened to Shechem, they gathered together in the safest room of the temple of the god of El-Berith. Abimelek heard that all the leaders of the tower of Shechem had gathered together. So Abimelek and all his men went up to Mount Zalmon. Abimelek took an axe and cut off some branches and carried them on his shoulders. Then Abimelek said to the men with him, "Hurry, do the same thing that I have done." So all the men cut branches and followed Abimelek. they piled the branches against the safest room of the temple of the god El-Berith. Then they set the branches on fire and burned the people in the room. About 1,000 men and women living near the tower of Shechem died. Then Abimelek and his men went to the city of Thebez and captured that city. But inside the city there was a strong tower. So all the leaders and other men and women of that city ran to the tower. When the people were inside the tower, they locked the door behind them. Then they climbed up to the roof of the tower. Abimelek and his men came to the tower and attacked it. Abimelek went up to the door of the tower to burn it. But while Abimelek was standing at the door of the tower, a woman on the roof dropped a grinding stone on his head.
Look out, look out!
The grinding stone crushed his skull. Abimelek quickly said to the servant who carried his weapons, "Take out your sword and kill me. I want you to kill me, so that people will not say a woman killed Abimelek." So the servant stabbed Abimelek with his sword, and he died. The Israelites saw that Abimelek was dead, so they all went back home. In that way, God punished Abimelek for all the bad things he had done. Abimelek sinned against his own father by killing his 70 brothers. God also punished the men of the city of Shechem for the bad things they had done. So the things said by Jotham, son of Jerubbaal, came true. After Abimelek died, God sent another judge to save the Israelites. His name was Tola. He was son of Puah, who was the son of Dodo. Tola was from the tribe of Issachar and lived in the city of Shamir, in the hill country of Ephraim. Tola was a judge for the Israelites for 23 years. Then he died and was buried in the city of Shamir. After Tola died, God sent another judge. His name was Jair, and he lived in the area of Gilead. He was a judge for the Israelites for 22 years. Jair had 30 sons who rode 30 donkeys. These 30 sons controlled 30 towns in the area of Gilead. These towns are called the towns of Jair to this very day. Jair died and was buried in the city of Canaan. Again, the Israelites did what the Lord said was wrong. They began worshiping the false gods Baal and the Ashtoreth. They also worshiped the gods of the people of Aram, the gods of the people of Sidon, the gods of the Moabites, the gods of the Ammonites, and the gods of the Philistines. The Israelites left the Lord and stopped serving him. So the Lord became angry with the Israelites and allowed the Philistines and the Ammonites to defeat them. In that same year, those people destroyed the Israelites who lived on the east side of the Jordan River, in the area of Gilead. That is the land where the Amorites had lived. The Israelites suffered for 18 years. The Ammonites then went across the Jordan River to fight against the people of Judah, Benjamin, and Ephraim. The Ammonites brought many troubles to the Israelites. So the Israelites cried to the Lord for help. They said, "God, we have sinned against you. We left our God and worshipped the false god Baal." The Lord answered the Israelites, "You cried to me when the Egyptians, the Amorites, the Ammonites, and the Philistines hurt you. I saved you from these people. You cried to me when the people of Sidon, the Amalekites, and the Midianites hurt you. I also saved you from those people. But you left me and started worshiping other gods, so I refuse to save you again. You like worshiping those gods. So go, call to them for help. Let them save you when you are in trouble." But the Israelites said to the Lord, "We have sinned. Do whatever you want to do to us, but please save us today." Then the Israelites threw away the foreign gods and began to worship the Lord again. So he felt sorry for them when he saw them suffering. The Ammonites gathered together for war. Their camp was in the area of Gilead. The Israelites gathered together. Their camp was at the city of Mizpah. The leaders of the people living in the area of Gilead said, "Whoever leads us in the attack against the Ammonites will become the head of all the people living in Gilead." Jephthah was from the tribe of Gilead. He was a strong soldier, But Jephthah was the son of a prostitute. His father was a man named Gilead. Gilead's wife had several sons. When they grew up, they did not like Jephthah. They forced Jephthah to leave his hometown. They said to him, "You will not get any of our father's property, because you are the son of another woman." So Jephthah went away because of his brothers and lived in the land of Tob. In the land of Tob, some rough men began to follow Jephthah. After a time, the Ammonites fought with the Israelites. The Ammonites were fighting against Israel, so the elders in Gilead went to Jephthah. They wanted Jephthah to leave the land of Tob and come back to Gilead. The elders said to Jephthah, "Come and be our leader so that we can fight the Ammonites." But Jephthah said to the elders of the land of Gilead, "You forced me to leave my father's house. You hate me. So why are you coming to me now that you are having trouble?" The elders from Gilead said to Jephthah, "That is the reason we have come to you now. Please come with us and fight against the Ammonites. You will be the commander over all the people living in Gilead." Then Jephthah said to the elders from Gilead, "If you want me to come back to Gilead and fight the Ammonites, I will do it. But if the Lord helps me win, I will be your new leader." The elders from Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord is listening to everything we are saying, and we promise to do everything you tell us to do." So Jephthah went with the elders from Gilead, and the people made him their leader and commander. Jephthah repeated all of his words in front of the Lord at the city of Mizpah. Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites with this message: "What is the problem between the Ammonites and the Israelites? Why have you come to fight in our land?" The king of the Ammonites said to the messengers of Jephthah, "We are fighting Israel because the Israelites took our land when they came up from Egypt. They took our land from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River to the Jordan River. Now, tell the Israelites to give our land back to us without fighting for it." So the messengers of Jephthah took this message back to Jephthah. Then Jephthah sent the messengers to the king of the Ammonites again. They took this message. This is what Jephthah says: "Israel did not take the land of the Moabites or the land of the Ammonites. When the Israelites came out of the land of Egypt, they went into the desert. They went to the Red Sea. Then they went to Kadesh." The Israelites sent messengers to the king of Edom. The messengers asked for a favor. They said, "Let the Israelites cross through your land." But the king of Edom didn't let us go through his land. We also sent the same message to the king of Moab, but the king of Moab would not let us go through his land either. So the Israelites stayed at Kadesh. Then the Israelites went through the desert and around the edges of the land of Edom and the land of Moab. They traveled east of the land of Moab. They made their camp on the other side of the Arnon River. They did not cross the border of the land of Moab. The Arnon River was the border of the land of Moab. Then the Israelites sent messengers to King Sihon of the Amorites. Sihon was the king of the city of Heshbon. The messengers asked Sihon, "Let the Israelites pass through your land. We want to go to our land." But King Sihon of the Amorites would not let the Israelites cross his borders. So Sihon gathered all of his people and made a camp at Jahaz. Then the Amorites fought with the Israelites. But the Lord, the God of Israel, helped the Israelites defeat Sihon and his army. So the land of the Amorites became the property of the Israelites. The Israelites got all the land of the Amorites from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River. The land also went from the desert to the Jordan River. It was the Lord, the God of Israel, who forced the Amorites to leave their land, and he gave the land to the Israelites. Do you think you can make the Israelites leave this land? Surely you can live in the land that your God Chemosh has given to you. So we will live in the land that the Lord our God has given to us. Are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor? He was the king of the land of Moab. Did he argue with the Israelites? Did he actually fight with the Israelites? The Israelites have lived in the city of Heshbon and the towns around it for 300 years. They have lived in the city of Arior and the towns around it for 300 years. They have lived in all the cities along the side of the Arnon River for 300 years. Why have you not tried to take these cities in all that time? The Israelites have not sinned against you, but you are doing a very bad thing against them. May the Lord, the true judge, decide whether the Israelites or the Ammonites are right." The king of the Ammonites refused to listen to this message from Jephthah.